you guys get a little bit more razzing. So you got a lot more to prove. I think you guys were fantastic. Chaz, you ended up taking the crown today. Of Jenn's picks, what impressed you the most?
I would actually say Bruce Campbell and J-Law. J-Law was one of my choices that I'm like, nah. And then Bruce Campbell, that would never cross my mind. But then seeing that mustache picture, I was like, holy shit.
And knowing who he is too, because once you see them in a mustache and you know what the character's supposed to do, you just stick a cigar in there, boom.
Yeah. So that was, I thought that was really cool. And Lawrence Fishburne too as Dr. Manhattan. I thought that was really fitting as well because he does have a soothing voice, and that never crossed my mind either.
Yeah,
I was going for the bald look, but
yeah, and you did go with someone who has a bald look.
Yeah.
Jenn, you did great. What did you think that the one that Chaz really locked it for him? Which one do you think he was like, wow, I really wasn't expecting that?
His Rorschach pick because of the chin.
Michael Shannon, yes.
The very angular chin. I thought it was a great pick. And I got to say, Chaz, if I have to lose to somebody, I'm glad it's somebody who had very strong picks. I think you did an amazing job. And, I'm going to keep rooting for you to continue through and be a winner. So you've got at least one person fully in your corner.
Well, just so you know, I was in your corner like the whole time. So
Thank you.
Oh, it's a love fest here at the post show. This is where you're supposed to get bitter and upset. But what? Now, I will say there was one pick, and this is the only pick that was unanimously not picked, and that was Tom Felton. I think that one. He's just not.
Well, people are so used to seeing him as Draco Malfoy.
Well, he plays tricks a lot of the time.
They have a hard time seeing him as anything else.
Mm-hmm. But I think those were really good picks all the way down. I really loved Emily Blunt, even though she wasn't the final point. I thought she would be great at that. She might even be too strong because the whole point of Silk Spectre is she's living with damage.
Yeah,
and that's why she kind of lets that stuff happen to some degree.
Yeah, and on the original Silk Spectre, Sally, my first thought was Jean Smart, but she's on the HBO miniseries.
Yep.
And I'm like, no, that's an easy way out. But I didn't want to say that if that was going to be Chaz's pick because I didn't want to say easy way out if that's what he did. And he didn't.
It down.
He had somebody I hadn't even thought of in years.
Don't worry about his feelings. Just
I'm the lady of the house. I have to think about feelings.
Oh, no. You just rip his throat out and then worry about that at the funeral.
There's that too.
So normally, had this got to a tie, which it almost did, it was real close. One of you just had to, Jenn, all you had to do was maybe possibly get one.
I just had to get in sync with you on that Bruce Campbell. I had to have had you there, and I just didn't do the brain connect.
I think of all of them, I think James Franco would have been more on my. I think that James Franco was a good pick because Shannon is a little too big. He feels like I don't know, he could be 5'10", I don't know, but he feels like he's 6'3" in imposing. And Franco, he could be 6'3", but he feels like he could be 5'8". Mm-hmm. And I feel like Rorschach is not a guy that can lumber around and get stuff done. He's a little weasel rat guy that's got to do stuff.
Yeah, that's what I noticed. I noticed Jackie was really short.
Huh? Yes, Jackie's my height. I think he's 5'6", 5'8". I'm 5'8", so I think we're about this. I looked him in the eyes when we talked, so.
Yeah, I looked you in the eye when we talked, so it's all good.
Yeah. So, but I didn't think he'd be this big, huge Michael Shannon. I think I have to talk to Michael Shannon like this.
Yeah.
So if we had gotten to a tie, Chaz, and you would have called the flip. We would have flipped it and figured out because it wouldn't have been. This is how the rules work. You tell me the movie. Do not explain yourself. Then I'm going to say, Jenn, you tell me your movie. Then I'll go back to you and get your explanation. So, Chaz, what movie would have been your double feature with The Watchmen?
Double feature with The Watchmen. Ooh, Knives Out.
Knives Out. Jenn, what would have been yours?
Across the Universe.
Across the Universe, the musical? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, thinking of those two and how much I dislike musicals, though I have seen that one, and that one's a Beatles one, so that one's not bad. I'd really have to think about it. So Chaz, why?
Chaz, yeah, I was going to say, get his, and then you'll get on mine.
Yeah. Yeah, why Knives Out?
Just because I feel like that's another movie that has a lot of great casting in it, and so I think it would be kind of fun to think about who else could have played the roles, especially because it's more recent too, so you don't really have to like age anybody up or age anybody down. So
Yeah.
it could just be more present.
Okay, so it's more of the ensemble.
Yeah.
And so Jen, Across the Universe, why?
Both movies touch on the Vietnam War. And then the thing about Watchmen is I love the soundtrack. I bought the soundtrack before I ever saw the movie because someone said, hey, these are songs you like. And then of course, Across the Universe is all the Beatles music. It's a little different of a musical because the lyrics of the song become part of the movie. And
Right.
it's not your typical Hello Dolly or
it was that 10-year stretch where people were making musicals, like Billy Joel had Moving Out, and Rocket Man's kind of the same way, where it's movies based on all the songs from someone, and then they made a story around it.
Yeah, kind of the ABBA thing. But so with those two tie-ins, with the touch on the Vietnam War, plus Across the Universe is going to have you feeling a little better when you leave. Whereas Watchmen can kind of leave you in a dark place.
Yeah, yes, very much can, for multiple reasons. As I'm not a fan of the Watchmen movie, so, but having heard your explanations, see, this is where I would have gone with Knives Out, but because you have a great explanation and I can feel the tie-in, I'm going to go with Jen on that. So that's a really good double feature. If only you had tied.
Yeah, Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell. I'll remember that next time. But you both have open invitations, of course, to the podcast. But hopefully we'll see you in season 3 in the veterans bracket. So thank you very much.
No, thank you. That was fun.
And Chaz, the best of, and make it all the way through, baby.
Oh, we'll see. There's a lot of good people on here.
Yeah, and 2 of them are her co-hosts, so she's rooting over you over her 2 co-hosts. That tells you something.
I'll try not to be a letdown.
That's like having Patrick Beatty right here, and you're going, I hope Valerie wins. And
I actually did that during the last season.
Well, I can see why. That's all right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys both, and you were phenomenal. First time has killed it.